Testing 1, 2, morning. So up next we have Cyrus and Mandy to share Azure Adventure, an RPG game to test students' Azure practical skills. Let's welcome Cyrus and Mandy.
Hello everyone. Let's have a short introduction. Today we will share a RPG game about learning Azure. And first of all, myself is a senior lecturer from Hong Kong Institution of Information Technology. And just wait for a second. It's time to start. It's time to wake up. Oh, okay, everyone wake up. And we are from Hong Kong, and we are from the institution. It's a major, it's technical college, it's not university. And for myself, I am, today I will share about Microsoft Azure, and I am Microsoft MVP in Azure last year. This year I am Azure in AI. Changed the categories since I write too much content in AI, then I lost my Azure MVP. I become AI MVP. And also I am the first AWS machine learning hero of Hong Kong in 10 years, nearly 10 years. And then last year I am also Google Direct expert in GCP. And this year I got another expert on AI, ML, and in Gen AI. Today also I will. This my student is Manny. Manny is also come from Hong Kong, and she is my student. Major in cloud and data center technology. This is my courses. I run a course in Hong Kong teaching cloud computing for AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, and a lot of things. And today our agenda is, first of all, we will talk about the problems, and then some demonstration is video. It's about our game to learning Azure. And then Mandy will introduce the technology we are using, and then I will explain the how does it work. And finally, how to deploy. And the problem, yeah, maybe is this, you want to share the problem more? Let me go. Now, the problem is that, be honest, if you are a teacher, if you're teaching a student, not very much. For example, if you're teaching the PhD student, master student, you can teach something extremely boring. Okay, you don't have to make it fun. But for myself, teaching a student somehow is quite junior, say it's 18 years old, 20 years old maximum. And then if I want to make my learning courses in the technology, I need to make it fun. And there's a reason why gamify it and then practical learning in cloud computing is my idea. I want to make it fun and also make it learnable. Well, my slogan is that learn with fun is the key to successful training. Since I do the training is skill training, and the topic in general is quite boring, be honest. So I need to make it fun. Behind the scene, we have two Microsoft open source project. Actually, this is in Microsoft's GitHub. First of all, before we have the RPG game, we have a automatic grading engine. We need a solution to automatically test about all of the student Microsoft Azure subscription and resource group. We want to grade my student on top of what they are setting in Microsoft Azure. Is it correct? For example, to him set up a correct resource group in the correct region, the server, whatever setting, I want to test it. Okay, we need a grading engine. This is the old one, very old one, as this is very boring. We just have the test interface for students, and then every night they will get an email about how much they get it, how much mark they get it. Okay, but this is something interesting. We can share, if it's possible, we'll share more later. And then after all, actually the Azure Adventure game is the user interface on top of the automatic grading engine, and it is a very old school NPC RPG game. The player need to talk to the NPC and then get some tasks on their assignment, and then they need to complete the task within certain time period so that they can get the mark. Okay, let's show the demo. And here's my demo. Okay, just for a moment. Oh, something. Oh, just wait a second. The the video don't payable. Sorry. Not in the USB. I make a copy, but I never mind. Just quickly to Google. Okay, just here. I quick demo here. Copy. Oh yeah. Sorry. Something wrong. Here. Is it in YouTube? Just Google it. This one is my. It's my talk in with Microsoft, but here is demonstrations. Just so the demo here.
Okay, let me start the Azure Adventure game. And first of all, when you kickstart the game, you need to input your survey principal. That is the
this is the old version. You need to keep the key to the system. And here's the game.
And then now it's in the game. And the player here, you need to walk around and then talk to the different people. And then it will give you the instruction to create Azure resources. And then how are you? And then now task. Please help me.
Resource
Can you help me to create resource
Hong Kong. You have 2 minutes to get 10 coins.
Project port. Okay, you have 2 minutes to work on it. Okay,
countdown for 2 minutes. The student need to go to the Azure portal and then create the resource.
I need to go to my Azure portal and then go to resource group and make sure you know your subscription. You create a survey principal is to be related to the subscription, and then make sure take the correct subscription.
Yeah.
And actually the description you need to make sure the region is Hong Kong. Okay,
the student actually they have to go to Google to search about the Hong Kong. Where is this?
Hong Kong.
I want to. This is no Hong Kong here. Suppose student need to look. Oh, Hong Kong
try
is
to
where?
create the resources.
It's region now.
And there is some time in between. Yeah, it take me. I have 2 minutes to finish this task. But never mind. You can hold the screen here, or you can
just
click enter and then complete the
and then I continue. And
complete the task and then go around.
I go around.
And then you try to walk around. And after 2 minutes, if I can complete the task, the coins will be given to me. And actually, the resource group is here, and East Asia.
East Asia is
correct.
Hong Kong.
I will get the coin. If this is not, and then I need to talk to the character again. But this is a little bit difficult. You need to face to him.
Yeah, I get.
Okay.
But sometimes you need to trace the NPC to ask.
How are you?
Yeah, if you since I'm happy complete the task one, so is the you ask the NPC give you the same instruction
my task
again.
is not yet correct. Incorrect. Or the time is not yet finished, so that is still the task
again. Jump to
and
I get the
okay,
coin.
I got it on. I complete the task
one, and then the next
after
one.
2 minutes, it tracked the
just another task.
Hi there, and can you help me create a story account in the resource group project? And I need to tag it in the story account.
This is about a repeat on continue. The student need to inside a game and then he get the task, and then they need to throw the instruction. But this one is the first one, and let's continue for the explanation. The demos here is not okay. Oh, now it's to Mandy, and Mandy will share about. Yeah, double check it something. Yeah.
So hello, I'm Mandy, and I'm going to share some information about the Azure services that we used. So the first service we use is Azure Function. The main point of Azure Function is that it is a serverless solution, and because we put the logic of our game on the Azure Function, so we have never started a server, and we just need to put the source code into the Azure Function, and when the events are triggered, our program will run. And we use consumption plan for our application. In fact, the cheapest way to use Azure Function is based on how much you use. That is, to calculate the number of the requests and how long that the application need to run and how many memories that you used. And our cost is very cheap because we use this consumption plan. But actually, why is it enough for us to use consumption plan? In fact, to a certain extent, it is because our application does not really take a long time to run. The upper limit may be 1 minute or half a minute. So in other words, there is no need to actually start a server. So there is no need for us to use those app service plans. And this is the event trigger. Our application mainly uses web API for event trigger. Sometimes scheduler is also be used. And when an event occurs, that is when the web call comes in, our function will run. In fact, it can be served as a web server. And we also used Azure API management because actually we have to check who calls the API. We need to protect our API and control access. In fact, controlling access is a very common requirement when using API. Because, for example, when someone trying to call the ChatGPT through API, well, it's actually about money. And if someone try to DDoS us, and we will be very troublesome. So what happens after we use Azure API management? Our most important config is this red line. This setting means each API key is limited to an IP address and can be called up to 60 times per minute. Next, we also use a framework called CDK Terraform. In fact, I know that many people are writing Terraform on a daily basis. If we have the time next time, we can share more about it. To put it simply, we prefer to write high-level programming language. Now, we use TypeScript to write our program so that we can write it from the perspective of OOP. You see, we have used API management, but there may be more that need to be handled. But after we write the program and wrap it into a function, it becomes that we can write it from the perspective of OOP. In other words, you can write about some inheritance or multiple or something like that. We use this OOP perspective to set up our cloud. Finally, we used a service called Azure Static Web Apps. Because our game is a React.js application, in fact, it doesn't need to run anything else. So we just put it on Azure Static Web Apps, then use GitHub Action to create a CI/CD pipeline. And this is actually very easy to do. If we have the chance, we can share more next time. And let's talk more about this Azure Static Web Apps can do for us. Say, if you make very simple single-page apps, which is SPA, just like React.js, Vue.js, etc. After you get it done, you just need to set up the GitHub action. Then you can easily deploy your website. It also supports a very simple authentication, allowing you to easily implement the login function. So to conclude, our entire process is, after finish writing the program, and we just need to commit it to GitHub, then through the GitHub action workflow, it will be automatically deployed on Azure. Okay, thank you. I'll pass the mic to Cyrus again. Thank you.
No. Oh, now let's explain more about the architecture. First of all, here is the overall architecture of include the grading engine and also the web application and NPC game, the RPG game. And first of all, we have here is a lot of Azure function, but in fact, it's just we want to have, in summary, we just want to schedule it to trigger API call, and then we connect the Service Pro from all student subscription, and we will generate some report. We will trigger the schedule, and then the actual part, the more complicated part is here. we want to have an need to run a lot of unit tests. Okay, unit tests on top of the student account, so that they will check about you make sure of unit test style to check about is this pass the resource group, pass the server setup, pass the secure firewall, whatever. This is behind the scene. Is a unit test. Okay, a teacher like me just run write a lot of unit tests and then put in this part is the is so-called the grading part. Okay, the grading part. But we will explain a bit magic behind the scenes to refine the problem is that we mentioned about we using Microsoft Azure function to run the program. But we have found the problem is that this is a bit trouble is that in general serverless technology is so-called the most important part is about isolation. What means isolation? I have 100 students. I need to run the unit test in parallel for all students at the same time. If it is a scheduled class, okay? Since it's fair, you need to grade all students at once. We found a problem is that there is a problem. It will have the corruption between process inside Microsoft Azure function sometimes. And the solution, I found a solution says we just build a executable, okay, build a exe program, and then run the exe program inside a Azure function. Then the process isolation inside the Windows server will be work isolation, independent without corruption of the program. This is something I found. Okay, but for other render, this will not happen. Okay, here is the logic. And then behind the scene, I just mentioned how can we control, or I can't say control, just read the student account. And we asked my student, every student to submit to create a service principal permission, just a reader permission on top of one of their subscription. The subscription is the student subscription or so-called Azure Educational Hub and another service from Microsoft. Every student got a subscription and then some credit inside. I can have the reader right to read all the settings in their account so that I can grade it. But if I become the not just reader, maybe other higher level role, I can even modify the student account so that I can inject some problem for them. Yeah. And about the deployment is that, well, I just mentioned using CDTF, and then now I show the source code. Here's the magic behind my source code. My source code actually is just a unit test. Okay, a standard end unit. And then I want to test a resource group exists. I want to test a resource group location is Hong Kong. It's just like that. The first task, resource group exists. There's a resource group in Hong Kong. And from the, I'm using C# reflection to extract the metadata over my tag. Here's the output. I just run a generator. I can guess the class order, 2 minutes, how many cons, 10 cons, and then we have a group number. Sometimes we want to have multiple unit tests together as a single task. We combine together. Have a group, resource group here, and then correct location. And this is the magic one. And also, I just forget to mention, we also have generative AI element there. We are using OpenAI, Azure OpenAI ChatGPT 3.5 to do something on the correction. But the demo is the old one. I can't show the latest one. But I can explain here. This is the source code. First of all, I need to credit back the game creator. We are not the expert on doing a game. We just modify a open source GitHub project from this guy, Batman something, I don't know how to pronounce it. And then we just train his source code a little bit, inject a Ajax core, and then wrap it up into a Azure static web app so that we will support the authentication, login, logout, registration, something like that. Here is the magic. From my demonstration, it's the old one, not the new one. But the new one is that every correction, the student to all students is different. Well, how can I make it? I just rewrite all the correction using ChatGPT. Every time the student access this game, will get a new instruction. But something really interesting. But I can show the demo here as an old demo. You are the paper, and then you have emoji, you need to have Chinese, English, something like that. And we are able to rewrite all the student correction so that every time they play the game, it's different. Even though they need to do the same task, but the instruction is totally different. But But for some of the metric parameter, do remember if you want to make sure your track GPT to create something creative, you need to set the temperature higher so that we set it to 0.9. And also, always rewrite the sentence. Don't answer anything else. Stop it to give something irrelevant. And remember, you will need to keep all the technical terms and nouns it's the same. Some, so that it will keep the resource group, virtual server, whatever technical terms in Microsoft Azure become the same. Just when you rewrite it, but just rewrite the core, the logic, but the technical terms is the same. Okay. It's time to wake up again. Wow, just 20 minutes. 10 no call and then. Okay, let's continue. Okay, just extract part of the system for you. Here is the grader. Actually, this is run the executable, and then the scheduler here, and the grader and the engine. And this is the grader, there's the engine. Two separate open source projects. Okay, both of them is under Microsoft. And this one is supposed you can always modify, as you can rewrite your unit test. Not for my assignment, you may train to other city, other country, or even to all of the logic you can train it. Just rewrite the unit test and then deploy the grader run, so that it's independent. We can have multiple grader, multiple assignment. Okay, and then using the same grading engine. I had just briefly mentioned before, this is the way I solve the problem. If you want to do something parallel and concurrent in Azure function, you are better to extract an executable and then run it inside. It will prevent the corruption problem and interrupt problem. For the web UI, it's so simple. Students sometimes it's just the first time they're using the grading engine. They run the service command and submit the JSON here. It's contain something like username password to control their account, and then we will run this one to behind the scenes inside the Azure function. Actually, I run this command to run a JSON to check out the unit test. This is an end unit command. And finally, here's the overall system registration grader. And this is orchestration function. A bit background for you guys. If you want to develop something so-called microservice, it's quite popular in the cloud computing and distributed system. It's so-called microservices, and you need to coordinate multiple Azure functions to run it one by one. Okay, or in parallel, in sequence, under condition. In Microsoft case, you need to use orchestration function. Okay, for something similar, if you're using AWS, it's a so-called step function, and you have the ability to control the microservice coordinate together. Since I have a lot of tasks need to working together, so I'm using the orchestration function to control, coordinate the sequence, the order, the condition to run each micro function one by one. Okay, this is database design. I just keep the grading assignment name, schedule task in a cron job style, and then whatever URL point to there to run the unit test. And then you want to get the mark to student, teacher email, and then we just expect use a cron expression to control how frequent to grade my student. Okay, since sometimes if this is we have the practical test, just 1 hour. Ask my student to complete something. I need to run the unit test every 5 minutes so that I can, within 1 hour, student get the mark. I need to know which student working faster than other. I don't care about it. Actually, all of the students should be able to complete the task, but who can do it faster is the higher mark one. If we have the ranking, just like game. Okay, and then here is the way I handle the parallel call. Since I just mentioned before, this is an assignment, you need to be fair to all students. You can't say the one student test graded earlier than other. We need to grade all the students at once in parallel. This is the orchestration function style. We just have the create activity and then use a parallel here. This is content run parallel, and then when all tasks complete, we will continue. This is the way using C# to run use orchestration function to run parallel test at the same time. Say we test it, 100 students is working. Okay. And then how does it work? Is finally after you run the unit test, we will keep the JSON, keep the spreadsheet, and the general report and the email to me, and then I know about every day I got the mark from my student. Yeah, this is quite straightforward. Just within the block container and then just export into Excel. It's using we keep all the unit tests under the XML since the end units by default it will give back the XML unit test result report for you. We just keep it and then general report. And for the student table, we just keep the subscription ID, keep the email, so that makes sure a student will not share their subscription. Since students have a hack, student can share their Azure account and get the mark. No, this is impossible. Since here we always track the subscription need to be unique pair between the email address and the subscription, so the student can't share their subscription and then get the mark. Since my student is quite smart, they have the way to want to just get the mark. I don't do anything. Okay. And finally, just nearly the end, and this is the way of deployment. But today don't have so many time to explain about the Tetraform CDK Tetraform, and it is very nice as the whole system is so complicated. But for deployment, you just need to follow a so simple step. You just configure an environment variable, and then 3 commands. You will deploy the whole architecture on the slide. Okay, since Tetraform is very powerful, but CDK Tetraform will give you a higher level programming language to generate the Tetraform. You can do, I can say that for Azure, for GCP, CDK Tetraform is the best tools for me to create my infrastructure as code. You just run a very simple program, and then everything in OOP. I create the content library to reuse the architecture. It's something very nice. But if you have chance, I will explain more detail next time maybe. Since this one is very good. But for deploying the web application, Azure Static Web App, I just have very simple. Since Azure Static Web App have the command tools to create everything quite straightforward, just use this command, we can create a web application on top a storage account, and then if you're able to do the login, logout, something like that, and then it's just from GitHub. Okay, thank you very much. Oh, today's talk here. Welcome for any question if you have. Yes. Okay. Any question? No, it's fine. Yeah, if you want to follow me, you can just Google Cyrus Wong. You can find my contact information very easy. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Cyrus and Mandy, for the sharing.